So I wanted to open this video that is obviously a Canucks and a San Jose Sharks related video by talking about one of the best to ever do it. Ladies and gentlemen, it was announced earlier this morning that former Vancouver Canucks goaltender and legendary Sportsnet color commentator John Garrett had passed away. And all the other videos that were uploaded on this channel today were recorded before the news, and that's why we haven't spoken about it until now. This is the first video I am recording after the announcement, and, you know, it hit me hard. It hit me really hard, because John Garrett is a guy that I personally grew up listening to, loved his energy, loved the way he would talk about the game, loved the way he thought about the game, loved his chemistry with John Shorthouse, loved his passion for ketchup and hot dogs. I mean, John Garrett is a guy that, as a fan of the Vancouver Canucks hockey product on the ice, no matter if the team was good or if the team was bad, any hockey game would be a lot more enjoyable to watch if John and John were commentating on it. Even if it was just John Garrett and anybody else, like John Garrett and Harnarayan Singh, like we had been seeing with these Vegas and Utah games in the playoffs. Yeah, that's right. John Garrett was commentating on these gosh darn Vegas-Utah games as far back as, like, Friday. And just a few days later, we learned that he has passed away, and that is so heartbreaking. It seems like it came out of nowhere. And even in the Sportsnet statement, they said the sudden passing of John Garrett. That's so heartbreaking to hear about. John Garrett, by the way, 74 years old. Like, I'm not going to say that he was super old or anything. Jim Rutherford's older than this dude. But I guess this is the stark reminder to all of us that life is fragile. Things can be taken away from us very quickly. And for John Garrett, watching the Vegas-Utah series, it was a delight, because hearing this guy and hearing his anecdotes and hearing the way he breaks down the game, it was a great reminder to a lot of Canucks fans, just the energy and the analysis that this guy would bring to Canucks games. It was heartbreaking enough when the guy ended up getting removed from the Sportsnet Vancouver Canucks broadcasts, and now it's even more heartbreaking to see his passing. And all I'm thinking about is the Garrett family. I'm thinking about John Shorthouse. I'm thinking about Dan Murphy. We heard the anecdote of John Tortorella texting John Garrett's daughter in the first period intermission of yesterday's Philadelphia-Pittsburgh game upon hearing the news. That's sweet. But it shows just how big of an impact John Garrett had on the hockey community, the broadcasters community, and especially the fans. R.I.P. John Garrett, one of the best to ever do it. I sit here with the utmost appreciation and respect for the man, the broadcaster, the goalie, the human being that was John Garrett. With that said, there is a topic that I wanted to talk about in this video regarding the Vancouver Canucks and the San Jose Sharks. And it comes to us via a comment made by one Elliot Friedman on last week's edition of the 32 Thoughts podcast. It goes over a Vancouver Canucks target that Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford reportedly failed to acquire. Take a look at this tweet. Elliot Friedman said on 32 Thoughts, "I think the Vancouver Canucks initially asked for Sharks forward Igor Chernyshov when they were talking about Kiefer Sherwood." And I thought this was a really interesting piece of information to dive into, because the Vancouver Canucks, they're in this situation where you can say they want to trade for younger players, guys in the 20, 21, 22-year-old age range that can be future pieces, but that can also help the team out long term. And for Igor Chernyshov in particular, this is one of those guys where if the Canucks would have been able to acquire him, it by no means would have fallen into the same category as the Eric Bronstroms, the Jack Studnickas, the Lucas Reichelses, the Daniel Sprongs, the I don't know, name your pick of all these other young guys that failed on their other teams that Canucks fans were excited about when they had acquired him. Emerson Edom, even. Igor Chernyshov is nothing short of spectacular. The guy is 20 years old, 6'2", 194, a right-handed left-wing player drafted by San Jose, second round 2024 draft. And after the 2024 draft, he ended up going to the OHL. He was a double point per game player, so pretty good there. And in this season, he had 33 points in 41 Barracuda games and 19 points in 28 San Jose Sharks games. Igor Chernyshov came into the San Jose organization and just started scoring goals like crazy. He was a fantasy hockey gem that you picked up on waivers because, hey, there's this new guy in San Jose that's doing some pretty good work. Let's see how he does. I picked this guy up, and he ended up winning me a few weeks. Igor Chernyshov is one of the hottest 20-year-olds in the NHL. Okay, I shouldn't say it like that, but he's one of the most hyped-up 20-year-olds in the NHL for a reason. And if this is the kind of guy that Vancouver is targeting, then I'm sitting back and I'm saying, okay, well, go at it, Patrick Allvin, or not Patrick Allvin anymore, whomever it is the GM. Go out there and try to get your 20, 21-year-olds. But here's the problem about targeting players like these. They're never available. Hell yeah, the San Jose Sharks said no to trading Igor Chernyshov for Kiefer Sherwood. Guess what? Chernyshov was a second-round pick. Vancouver got 2 second-round picks in the Kiefer Sherwood trade because Chernyshov is so valuable that trading him away for a guy that's worth 2 seconds isn't seen as a positive move, in San Jose's opinion. Plus, they're young, and Chernyshov had a lot of chemistry with some of the top young guys in San Jose. This is a really big part of their future. And he is so good and talented that if he had ended up becoming a Canuck in any form, I would have been super happy with that. It's just, there's no way that guy would have been available. Even San Jose Sharks fans in the replies of this tweet are all laughing at the idea. Oh yeah, I want to win the lottery. Oh yeah. Like, Chernyshov's value has shot so far past what a normal second-round pick is. And it's the issue with Vancouver's mission to acquire these age-ranged players, because guys that could get traded, that are in their 20s and that display potential, usually they either have issues with their development, their personalities, or something, or they're just not worth the risk. Like Jack Studnicka, Lucas Reichel, these guys out of Boston, young guys, there's a chance that they could blossom into what it was they truly were supposed to become, but they didn't do that. Daniel Sprong, same thing. Eric Bronstrom, Riley Stillman to an extent. These guys get traded over for like 4th and 6th round picks and whatnot. Meanwhile, look at what Vancouver's doing. They're trading guys away for 4th round picks that end up becoming like Vasily Podkolzin, for example. Igor Chernyshov was never an attainable goal for Kiefer Sherwood. Sherwood is just a little bit too old, and Chernyshov a little too valuable for that to actually make sense in San Jose. I understand why they rejected this, but at the same time, I do appreciate Vancouver for trying, I guess. Chernyshov's great. I'm a really big fan of this guy. And it's like, yeah, duh, of course the guy wouldn't get traded. Of course San Jose's not sending that guy off. But I guess the effort was there, right? So with that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this failed Vancouver Canucks trade, where Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford tried to acquire one of the best 20-year-old dudes who had played NHL hockey this season. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this trade idea itself. Also, RIP to John Garrett. The hockey world lost a great one today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.